So, let's dive into the growing challenges we face with invasive species and how they mess with our local ecosystems. Seriously, managing these guys is becoming a bigger deal every day, and finding effective ways to control them is essential for keeping everything in balance and safe. Take Florida, for instance, where alligators have been causing quite a stir. There have been some serious incidents involving attacks on joggers near lakes, which is a real wake-up call about how dangerous urban wildlife can be. It's a reminder that nature doesn't always play nice. And the stories just keep getting crazier. Like, remember that time a guy jumped off a bridge and literally landed on an alligator? Yeah, it sounds wild, but these events really showcase how unpredictable wildlife interactions can be. It's a risky game when we venture into their territory. On a different note, let's talk about pythons. These snakes can swallow some hefty prey, even alligators. It's a raw, brutal showcase of the food chain and the survival game in nature, making us realize just how fierce and unforgiving the wild can be. Living in urban areas puts a wall between us and the raw realities of nature, which can lead to ignorance about wildlife behaviors. A lot of folks simply don't recognize that these wildlife encounters are a part of nature's norm, and that can be a dangerous mindset. Now, think about experiences like going on safari. They can really hit home about the potential dangers of interacting with wild animals. When people don't have the right knowledge about wildlife, it can put them in some pretty sketchy situations, especially if they're not prepared. Cheetahs, for example, are known for their speed and a playful curiosity, and thankfully, they're not a significant threat to humans. They're kind of like this fascinating combo of a cat and a dog, which makes them super intriguing. But then there's the hippopotamus. Man, are they a different story. They're surprisingly aggressive and, believe it or not, account for around 500 human deaths each year. Their strength and speed can catch people off guard, which leads to some dangerous run-ins. Despite their big size, hippos can really move, reaching speeds up to 19 miles per hour. That misconception about how slow they are? Yeah, it's a real danger if you find yourself too close. It's wild to think about, but their quickness makes them a whole lot more dangerous. In the water, hippos definitely live up to their reputation for aggression. Their behavior can lead to really tragic situations, especially for unsuspecting people who might not be aware of the threat they pose. And then we have snakes showing up in residential areas, which raises some significant safety concerns for families and pets alike. Understanding what role these snakes play in the ecosystem is hugely important, even if they give us the creeps. In Florida, invasive species like pythons are wreaking havoc on local ecosystems. They're putting native mammals and reptiles at serious risk of extinction, and the imbalance created by these predators is honestly pretty alarming. Now, let's not forget about crabs. The fact that crabs eat their babies really brings to light the darker side of nature. It can be shocking for those who witness it and sparks some intense debates about animal behaviors and instincts. And when it comes to cooking crabs, the way people react can show a real disconnect with the suffering of these animals. You can hear the noise they make when they're boiled, and it really suggests they're feeling some distress that's too easily brushed aside. It's interesting to see how our casual attitude towards hunting and cooking crabs contrasts with how we perceive other animals. This really reflects societal norms about different species and the treatment they receive, and it raises some important questions.